The sweatshirt is now on. Whenever I wear this sweatshirt, I seem to get a lot of likes. Not sure why. In this video, I'm going to teach you guys the proper way to take walls in Fortnite. With the new season and the new meta that's now in Fortnite, taking walls is something that might be really important to know. Just like it's been really important in all the previous seasons. In this season in particular, it's really important to know when to hold your wall after you take it, as well as keeping in mind all these small tips that I'm about to teach you guys. So just in case you guys are wondering how this video is going to pan out, what I did was I went into arena and I went into solos and I took everyone's wall that I possibly could, got into as many box fight scenarios as possible where I was the one taking their wall. I'm also going to show you clips of when it kind of didn't work out as well. So I'm just going to show you exactly how to do it in real games. That way you guys can try and do these things as well when you get into your games. So bear with me if this video kind of seems like it's all over the place, but just keep in mind that these tips are advanced and you're going to be really good if you can master these skills like I'm about to do. Let's get started. 87% of people that watch my videos are not subscribed to my channel, so if you guys can hit that sub button and the like button for the one time, it would be greatly appreciated. Almost 90% of the time when I go into these situations where I'm taking someone's wall, the most important thing to note is that I at least hit them once or twice before I go to push them. Now that's not always the case. If you're playing like you're a W keyer and you're going crazy, sometimes you just end up taking people's walls and doing nice protected peek shots. But 90% of the time, whenever you want to W key someone and take their wall from them, the best thing to do is to get them weak before the fight actually starts. That way they're forced to med up and their main priority is to med up and run away rather than take a shot on you. The next thing I want to talk about is piece control, because whenever you take someone's wall, you have to be a skilled piece control player as well to know what to do in certain situations after you take that wall, because not only is the first step to take their wall, but once you take that wall, you need to understand what to do after. Usually this implies doing protected peek shots, placing a cone inside their box, placing a stair, and doing a Mongrel classic on them. There's many different things you can do to take protected shots after you take someone's wall. The next thing we do before we dive into more tips about what to do when you take someone's wall, we're gonna nail down exactly how to take their wall and what to do beforehand and kind of during it while you're running up to it. And one of the most important things whenever you're trying to take someone's wall is to understand what the person inside the box might be thinking. Now you won't be able to guess this every time, but you might be able to have a good, strong, educated guess on which wall they're looking at, so it will allow you to drop on their box and get a different wall that they're not holding. So a lot of times you can do this by placing a stair when you're on top of the box in one side of their box, and then place another stair and actually drop down on that box to get their wall and hack it that way. That way they're gonna be scared, and when they see you attacking a different wall, they're gonna instantly kind of get nervous. Maybe you still won't be able to get it, but at least you're keeping the player on their toes. A lot of times what works for me in arena is that I usually try and get on top of their box, and then I'll just drop down on a wall and hack it right away. But there's a lot of things that go into this. It's not as simple as just swinging your pickaxe at a wall. You'll probably end up dying more often than not if you just sit there in the center without any idea of what to do if the player does a protected peek shot on you. But this is more of a general box fight tip. You kind of just have to play mind games with the guy, so that way you're constantly keeping the guy on his toes, like I said earlier, and it will make it so you come up with creative ways to hack their wall when they're not looking at it. Now usually whenever you get the player weak, like I said, you can just go up there and maybe grab to them or launch pad or throw one of those bouncers on the floor and get to their box as soon as possible. So when you get them weak, the first thing to do after you shoot them is to put small amounts of pressure on their wall to stop them from healing as you're running up to them, which will give you time to make sure that they're guaranteed to be weak before you hack their wall and take it from them. If you notice in 90% of the clips I have here, I'm constantly putting pressure on people, which will cause them to be nervous and just kind of force them to do things that they may not have wanted to do. Before you go to take someone's wall, let's say you're running up to them, good practice is to make a lot of different walls weak and not just blatantly attack one wall, because then that guy will turbo build just that one wall and you may not get it if you have higher ping. So the best thing to do is to constantly make other walls weak. Maybe hit one wall, go back on top of their box, hit another wall, hit the cone, hit the floor. You can do a billion of different things to try and keep the enemy on his toes. That way when you go to actually hack one wall, you have a way better chance at getting it. Now a lot of you are not gifted with low ping like me, so I understand if some of these tips don't work. Recently I've been getting around 20 to 30 ping in my games. I used to get around 0 to 10. I'm not really sure what changed, maybe it was my internet, but that's beside the point. You just have to really understand the mechanics behind taking walls. Even people with 50 ping can still be good at taking walls and even progressing after that with killing the guy and doing Mongrel classics and placing cones cones in their boxes, etc. One simple trick that I love to do that could be situational sometimes depending on how much health the enemy has, but the second you take someone's wall and the second you edit through that, instantly place a cone or a stair, preferably a cone in most situations. Practice doing both, but just work on the piece control aspect after you take someone's wall, because the better you get at doing things that stop the player from building, which in turn will make you way better at actually killing them and therefore give you advantage in the fight. One thing I really want to point out is that in a lot of these clips I ended up going for the grapple gun. If you notice, whenever I have gotten someone weak by hitting them with my AR or whatever the case may be, I grapple, and a lot of times to shorten the amount of time it takes for me to get on their wall and actually start hacking it, what I do is I always land on the edges of walls that are placed. That way I can kind of b-hop off the wall and instantly start attacking them, because in that case it's really huge, because if you're spending more time getting to their wall, you're gonna give them more of a chance to heal up, and you might even lose the fight because of that. Now I bet the main reason or comment that I'm gonna see in my comment section is the fact that every time I take someone's wall, all they do is P90 me. Now this is something that could be very frustrating and actually make you just want to straight up quit the game. Now with this being said, there's things you don't want to do all the time. You have to keep that in mind, that there's going to be a very strong likelihood that 90% of people are just going to spray you the second you take their wall, because the wall is weak and it makes sense for them to just come out there with their SMG since you're going to be taken off guard. So what you have to do is you have to take their wall in a protective manner. Now I'm going to show you guys ways of taking people's walls that will allow you to react better if they come out spraying or if they try and peek shot you. That way you can do these things whenever this happens, so you can protect yourself from getting shot. Here are the real examples that I use in game and throughout the video. These are the most effective ones. Even though these might be a little old school, they work really well still, and if you don't use these by now, you really should. Even if you already know these already, the best thing to do is to just work on these more and more so you can get faster and faster. Then it would happen so quick that no one would have any idea what's happening to them. What I really want to talk about here is how I keep this guy at bay the entire time. I don't let him get outside my little trap here, and then the second he kind of runs away, I'm constantly putting pressure on him the entire time. I'm not in a rush to do an edit peek either. If you notice, I'm playing patient as well. Then I go for a quick little edit peek and close back up. I'm constantly keeping a barrier between myself and him. The thing I want to talk about is how I took this guy's wall and instantly got a cone in there before he could do anything, and I was just laying tack shots into him, but at the same time I was keeping my distance. This is the move that really works in games that I was showing earlier, that you can predict when your enemy's gonna edit and pre-fire on him. Even if this guy were to edit that wall, I can use my pickaxe to snatch it back, because I know it's gonna be one shot and it will be really quick for me to take it from him. Here's another example of me utilizing the reverse stair edit, and notice how I'm ducking below the wall so that he has no angle to shoot me. Just keep in mind that I whacked his wall when it was one shot right after he edited. That's something that I do frequently to get inside someone's box. But as you're watching me push this guy, just keep in mind that I'm whacking walls with my pickaxe that are one shot. Not only am I trying to wall replace, but I'm trying to just get inside his box and keep constant pressure on him. This is really key once you take someone's wall, because once you have one shot on them, they're going to try and run, and you have to be good at tracking. So once again, I'm getting a guy weak and I'm pushing him like crazy, constantly whacking his walls, spraying him, putting constant pressure on him again, but this time it's a little bit different. Now if you notice, I'm gonna let this clip play out, but if you notice that I constantly am whacking this wall again, I just managed to catch him off guard here. I don't know why he didn't put that wall there, but anyway, I kill this guy, and now I'm on to the next one, right? Most important thing to notice right here is that when I'm going into his box, I notice that he doesn't have the side wall, and then I jump and place it at the same time to be the first one to put it down. So I didn't cover the step-by-step binds you need to press to get to someone's wall and how to get it that way. That's pretty self-explanatory. All you need to do is get your pickaxe and break the wall till it's weak, and then you replace it with your builds. I'm not going to go over that. That's really too simple. But if you want to come through on the Discord or even on my Twitch chat, we can discuss the topic further, or if you have any questions, feel free to come through as well. I'm live on Twitch almost every 2 days, so if you guys want to come through and say hello, it would be much appreciated. If you guys actually made it this far and you're a fan of these tip videos, leave a smiley face down in the comment section and I'll reply to you. With that being said, all the links to all my socials are going to be in a link down below, so if you guys want to check that out, go down below in the description. Use my supporter creator code KEMBEANS in the item shop whenever you're buying anything. It would be greatly appreciated. And don't forget to drop a like and a sub for the one time. Until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night or a great day. Happy Father's Day, everyone. I know I'm late, but I'll talk to you in the next video. Peace. I tried to make this video a tad bit longer, so here's 3 more times I took someone's wall, and these are really good examples that might even happen to you.